All righty. I believe we're live at this point. Everybody hear me?
There we go. Okay. Can you
All right. Am I good to go on the beginning of the meeting?
Yes, go ahead.
All right. Good evening. We would like to welcome you to the July 23rd, 2020 meeting of the Board of Dwelling Standards and Review, and the time is now 7:16 p.m. Present and constituting a quorum are board members Gwen Hunter, Jenny Lockmiller. Is Teresa there via phone?
Hold on. Yes, sis is here.
Okay.
She can answer.
That's fine. Teresa McAdams, and I'm the chairman, Charles Spencer. When the property you wish to speak about is announced, please indicate your presence by raising your hand. After being recognized by the chairman, each person wishing to speak should come forward to the microphone, which is virtual at this point, and state their name and address before making any comments. Please keep in mind that these hearings are recorded, so if you refer to a document or photograph, please describe it and also speak up and clearly state yes or no to questions that may be asked. You also have the right to have your attorney present during the hearing, though the strict rules of evidence that are found in a court do not necessarily apply here. After an entry of an order by the board, you will have 60 days to appeal the order in Chancery Court if you choose to do so. Does anyone have any questions? Not hearing any, I'll move forward. We'll be lenient if somebody wasn't able to speak. So all persons having intentions to speak before the board on any property, please stand now and prepare to be sworn. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do so solemnly swear or affirm.
Just one moment here.
Sure.
Hang on one second, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
So you'll see that we do have one member in the public. Is there anybody else in there, Michelle?
No, there is not.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So can we swear him in now, Preston? Okay. So again, raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do so solemnly swear or affirm
Do so solemnly swear and affirm
that the testimony that I'm about to give is the truth,
that the testimony I'm about to give is the truth,
the whole truth,
the whole truth,
and nothing but the truth.
and nothing but the truth.
Thank you, and you can be seated at this time. Each board member and staff has been provided a copy of the minutes of the February 27th, 2020 meeting. Are there any questions, amendments, or corrections in regards to the minutes? Not hearing anything, the minutes will stand approved as written, and I believe we have to come in and sign those at some point. I didn't do that when I was there the other day. And one other thing that Wendy had asked me to mention, anybody that wants to participate, really, they should let us know before their item is presented to wait and call in only during your item. So that will apply to the one we have, I guess, in the front of the building. So the first item then that I have on the agenda tonight is 1509 Lynnwood Drive.
My name is Laura Spear. I'm with Code Enforcement with the city, and the property located at 1509 Lynnwood Drive is back in the BDSR. Originally, it was deemed to be demoed, but there was an owner or interested party that was not known of. And we brought it back to the board, starting over. The bank is waiting on, there was a title mess up somehow, and with the COVID, it got backed up. So they're actually waiting on the bank to sign, or the courts to sign off on this. And Ben Perry, who represents the bank, is supposed to be calling in. I don't know if he's gonna have trouble with that or not, but he has the link and the number. So I was hoping that he'd be able to call in to give us some more information on that. They have secured the openings in the home. But other than that, nothing's been done on it because they're waiting for this foreclosure to go final before they decide to demo or, or fix.
Okay, and this is the public hearing on that one. So if you believe there's anybody there that wants to speak about this property, if so, I need to open up the public hearing.
Yes, sir. I believe someone's in the lobby wanting to speak on this one.
Michelle, can you unmute him?
It should be unmuted. Can you hear me?
I can hear
Yes.
you.
Okay. I'm gonna step away 6 feet if you want to take your mask off so they can.
Yeah, okay.
And again, if you just state your name and address for the record, sir, I would appreciate it.
My name is Jim Smith. My address is 1505 Lynnwood, next to 1509.
Okay.
And who is the actual owner of this? The bank's still got it?
The actual owner is still coming back to William Earp. It was under foreclosure and legally the bank won't have it until it's signed off by the courts. The court was postponed because of the COVID and a title. There was something with a title that the attorney was going to explain when he called in tonight, but he said that it has been reviewed by the courts and corrected, but they still had to wait on that court date for the final sign off, and that's what they were waiting on.
Any idea when that might happen, or will that attorney try and call in this evening? Does he?
That's what he was going to try to ascertain of, a date on that and then call in tonight, but I don't know.
You don't by any chance have his number, do you?
I do not believe I have his number. I have an email. Let me see if there's one on there.
I mean, the bottom line is if he's not going to call in, I'd like to let the gentleman that wanted to at least speak about this property to let his information go on the record. And then we can close the public hearing after this point. And if this attorney does call back, we can reopen it and enter that into the minutes as well. But at least I'd like to hear what the resident nearby has to say.
Yes, sir. I do have his number. Mhm. I'm gonna step out.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Okay.
step right aside and
See, can he call me? See if he can call me.
Yeah, Will's got the calling number.
Okay, we're
I have a,
ready.
I have a
All
screen
right.
to set up for the public hearing. The number, if the participants didn't have the number.
She's trying to call him right now.
Okay, that's fine.
Mr. Perry.
Nicole,
Yes.
will you unshare your screen for a moment so that Wendy can put up the phone number? Because the public hearing's been opened.
Okay. Oh, there it is.
Thank you. Just to let you know, that it takes about 30 to 45 seconds to go through everything. So if you all have any additional comments on it, you can talk about it now.
Was the gentleman at the podium, had he concluded his testimony or was he still going?
He hasn't started yet.
I really don't have anything more. I know pretty much what's going on. I was wondering what the big holdup is. This is the second time we're going through this.
Wendy, we believe he's calling in right now.
He's from the coming.
Okay, I'll wait. I'll watch for him.
How do they know this?
Isn't it done?
For the benefit of anybody who might be watching this on YouTube and not sure what's happening right now, are we waiting on an attorney to call in?
Yeah, he's trying to get through. So we're just waiting on it to pop through.
Thank you.
Oh, he's the West Coast. Oops. What's his name?
What's the attorney's name?
Does he need the password?
Nicole and the ladies in the room, you may want to mute your microphone.
Oh, okay. Wendy, does the gentleman, when they call, do they need the meeting ID and password as well?
Yes, that's why I put it up on the screen there.
Okay, all right, that's what we were wondering. Thank you.
We have someone here. Hang on. Do you have a caller on the line? Hello?
Yes, this is Ben Perry. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, this is Ben Perry from Bradley A. Rent, Nashville, representing PHH Mortgage Corporation. I understand that one of our properties is up for discussion tonight. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Yes, yes, one of your properties. This is
It's the Lynnwood
Right.
Avenue, I believe.
correct. I'm not sure what happened to the chair. If you'll bear with us, the chair will come back, but please go ahead with your testimony. Because you are just now calling in, we will need to have you sworn. Vice Chair, Madam Vice Chair, with Charlie having stepped off, do you have the if you can unmute, please, ma'am.
I'm so sorry. I did not print that portion out because I did not think I would need it tonight. I can grab it real quick. I apologize.
No, that's okay. I'm sure Charlie didn't mean to depart either. There he is.
Is he back? Oh, there he is.
Mr. Chairman, we have the caller on the line.
Yeah.
Oh, there you are.
Okay.
We have the caller on the
I need
line.
to swear him in.
Yes, would you please swear him in?
So I will. Yes, good evening, sir. If you just listen to this and then I'll swear you into the meeting. So
Okay.
again, I'm Charles Spencer, the chairman of the board. That the testimony that I'm about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
Okay, very good. You may be seated and you're welcome to speak at this time if you would like.
Okay. Yeah, I was just, I wanted to kind of provide a little bit of background as to where we are on this property. It's been a little bit of an ongoing headache myself trying to get this taken care of. This property was abandoned by the borrower, who has been in default for quite a while. We referred this loan to foreclosure, and then there was a title issue apparently that needed to be resolved. So they filed an action to resolve the title issue. That title issue has now been resolved. They've recorded the order resolving the title issue, and I believe foreclosure is now proceeding. I don't know how I've not been able to confirm how the COVID-19 has affected our ability to move forward with foreclosure, because I understand that some properties we're unable to move forward with. As far as certain investor restrictions, there are a lot of restrictions both as far as investors and counties and cities. So as far as I know, the foreclosure is moving forward. I sent an email to our foreclosure counsel last week or earlier this week, and he confirmed, he sent me a copy of the recorded order correcting the title issue, which I'm happy to pass along. And as far as I know, the foreclosure is moving forward. I know there were structural issues with this house according to the city's inspection, and we were, obviously we cannot demolish the house before foreclosure without a court order. The city can, obviously, but we cannot, just as the mortgagee. And so essentially we're kind of stuck in a spot where it's like we had to foreclose before, assuming that the house needed to be demolished, and it couldn't be, repaired without knocking the whole thing down. We were going to go ahead and just move forward with foreclosure, and then just, if it needed to be demolished, just demolish it on the back end and kind of deal with the cleanup at that point. So I'm happy to answer any questions that you all have. I understand you're probably all frustrated. I'm frustrated myself with the pace that everything has been moving along, but I assure you that I'm doing everything on my end to try to move this along.
Appreciate that. And the gentleman there that's
Do you have anything to say to them at this point?
Oh, no, I don't have anything else to say about it.
the neighbor, would you like to ask the attorney any questions, sir? Okay, but I missed that. I'm sorry.
No, he said he had nothing else to say. As a member of the board, I think I'm a little confused. So we're just kind of in a holding pattern until a bank can do something? I'm a little confused.
Closure.
Yes,
is that a question?
Yes, that's a question.
Sorry, was that a question directed towards me?
I think that's a question for the attorney. Yes. What do you see as the timeline that we might be looking at for foreclosure and then demolition of this property?
Well, I have not been able to confirm that the property has to be demolished. Obviously, that would be, the first thing we would figure out, which I'm trying to kind of double track that as far as figuring out if the property can be foreclosed. If the property can be demolished or repaired without demolishing it, or if we're just gonna have to knock it down, but we can't demolish it. It seems like it may need to be demolished. As far as our timeline, I think they're probably in the process of re-noticing, the required statutory notices under Tennessee law, which can take anywhere to a month or two. And again, all that depends on the COVID restrictions that are in place as far as whether we can actually move that foreclosure action forward. So I wish I could give you a better answer than that, but that's really all I can say at this juncture.
Okay, thank you. I understand.
No questions from the gentleman in the audience then at this point?
No.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions? I guess to the attorney, then you can just stay in touch with our folks on the board for the city and just keep them apprised of your plans.
Okay, I can absolutely do that.
Anybody from the city have any questions?
No questions.
Anybody else on the board? Any questions? Not hearing anything, I will go ahead and then close the public hearing on 1509 Lynnwood Drive. So thanks to both of you that came. I appreciate that. So moving on to the next property then, these are all continued from February. The first one is 210 West 8th Avenue.
Oh, well, do we have any motions? What are we doing on that public hearing?
On 1509 Lynnwood.
Well, we can't really do anything to it until the bank has the foreclosure notice and everything, and then keeps the city aware of what they're planning to do.
Do we need to continue it?
Yes.
Yes.
That would be fine.
I make a motion to continue the property. I'm sorry, I don't,
1509 Lynnwood
you.
Drive.
it's going to
You're
take a
welcome.
team effort for this.
Yeah, no problem.
To continue the property until the August 27, 2020 meeting.
Second. Gwen got it.
Whichever.
Before the roll call is taken on that, can I ask a question, Mr. Chair?
Sure.
Whose item was this? Was this yours, Lori?
Yes, sir.
What was the recommended, or what was the citation for restoration and repair or for demolition?
The original citation, where is the, do you have the exhibit A in here?
Exhibit A, code violation was exterior walls, windows, foundation walls, rodent harborage, stairways, decks, porches, and balconies. That's the exhibit A.
My recommendation, looking at the damage from, termite damage and just being the harborage and how many holes are in the house and the foundation slipping, it's in horrible condition. If we did a cost analysis on it, it would be one thing, but I think that's what Mr. Perry was saying, is that they want to have their own person come in, do a cost analysis, and then decide, with it being a foreclosure, if it's going to be, better for the bank to demolish it or to try to repair.
Okay. I think Commissioner Lockmiller, if I would just suggest or ask, is it a given that that the bank will be providing that valuation, or is that just a hope at this point?
Are you speaking to me?
To you, to
Okay.
Officer Spear. Is it
Sorry, I think it's something to Jimmy.
is it a given that the bank will be providing that, or has it just been considered?
I think, just speaking for Mr. Perry at this point, I think it's being considered. I can't speak for the bank saying that they're going to absolutely do a cost analysis. But at the point where he's speaking at now, as the attorney for the bank, what he was telling me is that he is, he can't really tell me, yes, we're going to demolish this thing, because we don't own it yet, and he can't legally speak to it yet. I think they're leaning towards demolishing it. He's trying to tell us that without coming out and saying it, but I can't say that they will or will not.
So, Mr. Chair and board members, in the absence of that ability, especially since they don't have legal control over the property, Commissioner Lockmiller, would you be okay or interested in adjusting your motion to allow the continuance, but then to also call the building official up as a witness at the next meeting with a cost valuation?
Yes, I would definitely do that. I apologize. I'm trying to cycle between my agenda and everything with screens, and I'm having trouble. going between the two. But yes, I would be very, very okay with that.
Okay, thank you.
So we can just amend it, don't need a second.
Could you repeat what the new motion is, please?
I am making a motion. I apologize. Could someone give me the property address again?
1509 Lynnwood Drive.
I make a motion to continue the property at 1509 Lynnwood Drive to the August 27, 2020 meeting with the building inspector present. Is that what I'm asking?
I believe so.
To
And
provide an
it'd be a cost
update
analysis, a cost analysis.
And to provide a cost analysis.
and to provide a cost analysis.
Thank you, ma'am.
We'll second that amended motion.
Super. All right. Now, you think we can move on to?
Well, I need to call the roll if that's
Oh,
okay.
call roll, yes,
Sorry. All right. Okay. Mr. Spencer,
Yes.
Ms. Lockmiller,
Yes.
and do we still have Ms. McAdams with us?
Yes. Can you all hear her?
Yes, thank you. And Ms. Hunter,
Yes.
thank you very much. The motion was approved.
All righty. Now we'll go to 210 West 8th Avenue, a continuance from January. I lost you, Jenny. Can I hear you?
210 West 8th Avenue. I'm sorry, are we ready?
Yes.
Oh, okay, so
Here,
sorry.
hold on, I get the screen. I'm sorry.
It's hard. This is, it was purchased as tax sale before October 25th, 2018 by Vic Vetrana. It's what they call the old store that sit there on the corner of West 8th. To February 11th of 2019 is when we had notes where Vic Vetrana was told that it was it was not zoned for placing a store back in it, but it was for single family only. And October of 19, the board ordered the steps removed, which the owner complied by February of 2020, and then it was continued to March of 2020. And basically, this is where we're at this point. He has got permits issued for interior remodeling, and he got that in June of 23 of 2020. The soffits still have not been repaired, but hopefully with, of course, the permits only for interior.
For logistics here, if staff is finished speaking, you need to indicate something. We can't see people. So we have to identify when we're speaking and when we're finished.
Okay, that was basically our update. Can you see the pictures?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. That was definitely our update.
So what permits has he pulled?
He has pulled just an interior remodel issued June the 23rd of this year.
Wow.
This is Jenny. When were these pictures taken?
These pictures was taken, we had to do it early, like 2 weeks.
Okay, there's one that shows the side of the building because
Let's see, Jenny, let me keep looking. Is it this one?
No, I'm sorry, the side on the corner of Montgomery.
This is along Montgomery right here.
That's the corner I'm looking. Oh, wait. Yes. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I was confused as to where we were. Yes, I see the corner of Montgomery there.
Yeah. This is like standing in the back parking lot, I guess you'd say.
Okay. Yes. Sorry.
Thank you. So. And that door's on Montgomery side.
Okay.
So from January until now,
Yep.
all we've done is pulled a permit for interior demolish. Is that correct?
This property's been, I believe, this is the, the case was started in 2018.
Right.
Vic Vetrana purchased it in or around October 25th of 18, and for 12 months, he, if they put any money into it, they may or may not get it back out if it's purchased back through those tax sales. But by October of 19, for sure, it was cleared.
I guess on my part, I'm a little concerned because I can see on the corner of Montgomery, and I know from the previous pictures that there's electrical work that is being done, and permits do not appear to have been pulled. There's a new electrical box, if you look down the corner there, that was not there in the pictures from our previous meeting. And I'm not sure.
Here, they're laying right here now. Can you see the photos?
I can, but it's not showing that. There we go. Right, that's the old electrical box lying on the ground that was there in the old pictures. And then there's a new box right there that your mouse seems to be on.
No permits, no.
There's
no permits. No permits for that.
No electrical permits.
Just to make you aware, there is someone on the line calling in.
Okay.
Oh,
Good.
okay.
I guess I don't understand what our options are in this, where that I appreciate very much that you're doing work to clean the property up, but we also need permits to be pulled before that happens, especially with electrical.
Yes, it was just issued 6/23.
Do we know who's calling in, Wendy?
Jeannie, there was an electrical permit that's already been closed. Apparently, Will, can you see that?
Yeah, just give me a minute here. I'm looking through the details here in City View. I'll be right with you.
Okay.
The phone number on waiting room is 741-2610.
I need a little help. I mean, are we, Preston, I guess it's not really a public hearing, but what do we do in this situation, Preston? Just a little guidance, please.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
in a situation like this, it is entirely up to the board whether or not you want to allow additional comment. You are exactly right. You've already held the public hearing on this.
Right.
So if there is if at this point the order has failed, you can order to. I mean, obviously it's not occupied, but you could order that this be permanently closed and placarded, and it depends on what your previous orders were. Were your previous orders to repair? I assume your previous orders were to repair, not to demolish, correct?
I believe that's right. I'd have to refer to the city, I don't remember.
Yeah.
Or maybe Jenny or Sis
Yeah.
remember better than me.
I'm trying to, having trouble back and forth, sorry.
Yeah, it's really hard.
Good.
I'm not able to go back and forth between this screen and iCompass right now, so,
So if your previous order was to repair and they have not complied with the order at this point, then you can continue, if you choose to, receive additional comment, because there's been some time that has passed. We had discussed, earlier regarding, COVID has created a little bit of a wrinkle here. And
Right.
so that's up to the board. Each case is unique and
I have
independent.
a question. I want to know what happens when someone works without a permit on a piece of property. If electrical work is being done on a piece of property without a permit.
Right. If somebody was to
Obviously work's been done on the property without a permit.
Right. And so we would cite them appropriately, and then they would be required to obtain an after the fact permit.
So he would be allowed to continue working even though he started working without a permit before, and before the permit was pulled to clean out the work, he was already working. So
Yes.
There's nothing
He would be able
doing
to
that.
he would be able to pull an after the fact permit.
So you can go in and do the work, not get penalized, and then continue.
Well, technically it would be a $50 citation. And then if he chose not to ever pull a permit, then he would go in front of the municipal court judge.
So it's only $50 permit to start doing electrical work on a building like that.
so this is Jenny now. Is it $50 each day or $50 one time?
No, it's $50 per occurrence. So it would be, but that's the goal is to get somebody to get a permit.
Yes.
The goal is, from the building department's perspective, if you think about it like from their perspective, their goal is to have people meet the building code. And
Right.
so the only way we can get people to meet the building code is to pull a permit. So if we were to punish people and say, you just can't pull permits because you didn't pull a permit, then what that might do is that's just going to force people into the dark. So we want people to pull permits, and so we'll issue after the fact permits.
Okay.
But what's the consequences when you're blatantly doing it during a time?
Sid, I'm sorry.
So you're telling me there's a $50 consequence for him starting to run electrical into a building like that for residents to live in?
I mean, from the city code perspective, yes, ma'am. Otherwise, if the work was done not according to code, then that ends up being much more expensive. See, there's the risk involved with doing work without a permit because, number one, the work is not being reviewed. And then number two, the work is potentially going in incorrectly. And if it goes in incorrectly and then it's expected and failed, then he's got to rip it all out and redo it. So really, honestly, the risk is greater than the reward. And in a situation like this, what it means is that he ends up ripping out all of his work. That ends up being extremely expensive.
One thing, Mr.
What about, oh my gosh, I can't. Let me put myself on mute.
Mr. Mitchell had mentioned that if the board felt like that the owner hadn't complied by the orders in September 26th of 2019,
I would need to pull it up.
the board did made a motion to continue with the well, I found it. Miss Lockmiller reminded Mr. Vetrana about that they need to be brought back to a single family. And Mr. Bertrana said that, he planned on, beginning the work soon. He said his plan is to start working on this house just as soon as he finished with another house around next Tuesday. And this was on September 26, 2019.
Right. So basically, we all just want there to be progress on this property. So from everything I've heard so far, we have absolutely no way to basically force progress on this property. The owner can fiddle around with it as long as he wants to. Is that an accurate assessment? Please tell me I'm wrong. Mr. Ryder?
If you all give me a minute here, I've been researching this information because it was my understanding that there was an electrical permit pulled. I found reference to that in the online portal, and I've been searching for this, so thank you for bearing with me here. But there was a building permit pulled, and an electrical permit was pulled. This is per what I found in City View and per David McClelland, who's the acting chief building official. So an electrical permit was pulled to install a single 200 amp service, which is the typical amperage for a single family home. Inspections have been performed and passed. And here is the copy of the inspection report that was passed. The inspector was Jerry Nave. Date of the inspection was June 30th, 2020. So the permits were pulled for both building and electrical.
Okay.
What is the date on the electrical permit, please?
Permit date of inspection was June 30th, 2020.
So the permit was pulled and it was inspected on the same day?
No, that's the pass date. Let me tell you, let me look at when the permit was pulled, if I can find that. It was entered into the system on June 25th.
Which was after the work was done.
Yes.
Wow.
Was there and I guess there was the $50 fee attached to that.
Okay, well, I guess we really have.
Wait, hold on. Was there a $50 penalty attached to that?
That I don't know.
Okay.
I don't have that information available.
Well,
So what are our options?
You're on mute, Jenny. Jenny, you muted yourself.
I did, sorry. He's obviously not in compliance with our previous order, but he does have an active building permit. I think we talked about this a little bit the other day. So what are our options to ensure that this property is brought up to code as quickly as possible?
Well, once the permit's been pulled, then it's the duty of the building inspectors to go out and inspect the property and make sure that the property's been, and make sure that the work's been done properly. So really the following through on the inspection and just evaluating the work.
Can you put me up to the thing?
Sis would like to speak.
Okay, I'm just going to have to say this. At this time, I'm going to have to resign from this board, and I am going to be fighting the city against this property. I have enough emails, enough to back me. I appreciate you all. I respect what you all said. Preston, this is directly at you because I know that you came after me for this. I'm done with this, and I'll see you all later.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay, that call has disconnected.
Is Charles still with us?
I'm here.
Okay.
I mean, you know, Jenny and Sis have this is right there in their backyard, and I I think it's only fair just to let them talk. You know, I don't have to pass it every day. And, you know, and at this point, if Jenny wants to make any kind of motion, I will support her.
Well, and that's why I want to make sure whatever motion I make is legal and is going to hold up in case, you know, this is ever questioned. So I'd like to ask city staff what our options are as far as this, because this property has been a nuisance and it's been before this board for quite a while. So what are our options as far as actions we can take tonight?
I was going to say, Jenny, maybe, I mean, if he's got the permit and then Preston was saying, you know, the city can go down and inspect the progress, maybe that's maybe that's the motion. Maybe you make a motion to have the city inspect the property and report back next month. And then we'll have more to go on. What do you think?
I would agree. I would agree that as long, you know, like we had talked about before, one of the difficulties with issuing a new order is that anytime you issue a new order, you have the 60 days, you have the 60-day appeal period. And so in a situation like this where building permits have been issued and just recently, you know, within a matter of weeks, then, you know, I would recommend continuing this to the August meeting, but rather than charging the property owner with anything, or continue the order one more month and then charge staff with
an update,
regular inspections, and then the other is that you could charge, or you could charge, yeah, you could ask Dave McClellan to appear before the board to be able to testify as to the specifics of building permits and inspections that have occurred in the last 30 days at the next meeting. Mr. McClellan's already going to be at your next meeting because of the previous item.
Right. What do you think, Jenny?
Okay with that. I'm frustrated, but I also want to make sure whatever we do is going to hold up and be legal.
Right. Can you remember everything Preston said?
I think it's the same as the previous one, is that we would like to make a motion to continue the property at 210 West 8th Avenue to the August 27th meeting with Mr. McClellan present to attest to the progress along with the status of permits and inspections. How'd I do? We can amend that if we need to.
Gwen, you want to second that?
Yes, you just didn't hear me. Yes, I second that.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Okay. Are you ready for the roll?
Yes.
I am.
Okay, all right. Mr. Spencer?
Yes.
Ms. Lockmiller?
Yes.
And Ms. Hunter?
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
Before we leave this property, I just feel a compulsion to say that I am deeply, deeply saddened that a very, very valuable member of this board has felt it necessary to resign, apparently because she felt she could not be both a private citizen and a member of this board. I don't know that we check our private citizenship rights and responsibilities at the door. We certainly have to wear a different hat. when we are making decisions as a board. But apparently, Ms. McAdams felt that she didn't have any personal options. And I think that's very sad if that's how our boards are structured. I certainly hope that I misunderstand that, but I am deeply saddened that she felt the need to resign. She brings a lot to this board, and she represents a segment of the population that we all desperately need to have represented. I don't see another face on this screen that doesn't look like mine. And that makes us less than. So thank you for listening.
Thank you.
And I mean, Preston, you got anything to add?
Well, I mean, we're in the middle of a board meeting, and so
I'd like to discuss this perhaps after the meeting in executive session, if that would be appropriate.
At this rate, we're going to be done about 11:30 at night.
Yeah, since you asked, Mr. Chair, the only information I can provide is that, I mean, first of all, the comments that were just made by Commissioner Hunter, I can only assume were in reference to an email chain that occurred, and in reference to that email chain, I received direction from the city attorney from the staff attorney when it comes to legal matters, and so it is unfortunate that I was just publicly implicated for trying to come at someone when that is absolutely not something that I would ever seek to do. The comments made in the email were comments that were recommendations of our legal staff as it relates to quasi-judicial proceedings. And quasi-judicial proceedings are unfortunately very strict, stringent proceedings. And Ms. Sandos and I have had many conversations about those, and those apply to not only this board, but to the Board of Zoning Appeals, as well as the Historic Zoning Commission, and any other quasi-judicial board. So that's all I can comment at this time.
Sure.
I will immediately notify the city manager as well as the city attorney, and then I just will seek guidance from them.
Very good.
Thank you. That's all I need to know. Thank you.
Shall we move on to 312 Dyer Street?
Yes.
Thanks, Preston. Thank you, Gwen.
Okay,
Okay.
you're up.
Okay.
Oh, pictures.
Yes. So just 1 second. Sorry.
You're fine. A little cumbersome, isn't it?
It's a little, sorry.
That's all right.
There we go.
Okay, 312 Dyer. This was originally, I think, one of Seth's cases. In August of 2018, the family stated that the grandmother, Judy Phillips, had signed this property over to the grandson, Chris Walker. In, let's see, July of 18, we had the first public hearing on it. And February 19, 2020, there was a cost analysis done by Dave McClellan, who, let me see, do I have that on? No, it's not on there. His cost analysis come up to $24,600 to bring it up to minimum standards. And the Tennessee tax record appraisal was $27,500. So it's less than $3,000 difference from what it was actually worth to what it would cost to repair this. I did talk to Mr. Walker, and since in February of 2020, the board had removed the order to demolish only in hopes that since Chris got it, that he would be able to pull the permits and repair it. He has since gone through some personal difficulties, and we've actually had a contractor sit out there at least twice since then to mow it. He's not even keeping it up. Basically, the house has not been touched since you guys removed the demolition order, giving him the opportunity to repair it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, based on that, I think we want to re-up the demolition order.
I'll second that motion.
Is that by city?
Is that what the first order was, by city, or was it by owner?
I'm not sure, but he made it pretty clear that he had no money to put into this.
Okay.
I talked to him
Well,
today on the phone.
If he has no money to bend to, then I guess that I would make a motion to demolish the property at 312 Dyer Street by the city of Johnson City.
Second.
Okay. Mr. Spencer,
Yes.
Ms. Lockmiller,
Oops, did we lose Jenny?
I was muted.
Oh.
and Ms. oh,
Yes.
sorry. Okay,
Thank you.
and Ms. Hunter,
Yes.
thank you.
Very good. 812 Montgomery Street is our next property.
Eight 12 Montgomery Street.
I feel like Karnak from Johnny Carson, but probably all of you are too young to remember that. So,
First on this one, I'd like to show you the cost analysis.
Okay.
And Dave McClellan did this before, or right when, I think actually before. Let me see the date on this. Well, he just sent it then. I believe that this cost analysis may have been done before the actual property was turned over. The first public hearing on this was February in 2020, and the owners were deceased. There was a gentleman in the neighborhood that had been paying the property taxes.
wow.
And so he went on March the 20th of 2020, just this year, and got a quick claim deed done, and he now owns this property. He did get a permit to remove the damaged 10 by 12 porch on the back. He added an 11 by 12 bedroom and an 6 by 8 patio, and this is all under a permit, but he is still working with building on getting the electrical permit. But that being said, it's now actually has an owner, and one of the biggest reasons we bring this to the board was the collapsing back and the fact that there was no living relative to do anything about it. So we now have my recommendation actually is to rescind this one and let him go through the building department, because he is actually repairing it.
What do you think, board?
Okay.
Somebody make a motion.
Yeah, I'll make a motion as soon as I find it to, just rescind the property at 812 Montgomery Street and allow a new owner to work with city staff on the proper repairs.
Second.
We have some discussion.
Yes.
I have discussion. I have a question just more about the process. So if we rescind it and it goes through city staff, if they again become non-compliant, it's a new non-compliance. We would have to go through the whole process again and find them non-compliant find it unfit and go through the whole notification process. So I guess that's the only option. We have an option to sort of keep on I guess what I'm worried about is situations where somebody might not follow through. and we
can
don't,
place-
and then we have to go, we are then 6 months behind, or even a year, as much as a year behind from where we would have been if we had just moved forward based on the current finding it unfit. Is there a way to keep it?
Okay, well, we could,
Yeah.
I could withdraw that motion and we could just continue it till.
I don't necessarily want to. I guess what I'm asking is, what are our options? I hate the idea of having an agenda full of 800 properties that were continued.
We can place this on what we call like a code case file, and as long as it's going through the motions through building, then we just leave it sitting there, and until it's completely done or it falls behind, we won't bring it in front of you guys. We've got several of them that's what we're waiting on, either for it to complete what they're doing or for them to fall behind. I hate to say it like that, but we're waiting for either to happen. And if it's completed, we'll bring it back to you, ask for a rescind, and if it falls behind, then we'll bring it back to you to get it back, in action in a sense. So we could do that, and that way we don't go through having to restart something, like you said, up to however many months it will take to get it to this point again.
Okay.
And I don't want to add, hold on, I don't want to add administrative work to what you all have to do. If we can avoid that, because I know I'm drowning in administrative work, and I know you all are as well. So is that something?
I would prefer it to be placed on code case, and I don't know if that's an appropriate name, versus just continuing, because continuing, it's a lot of paperwork to get it to the board each time. But if we place it on code case, it's not going away. It sits just in the stage it's in right now, and we'll bring it back at the city's request, I think is how you guys have worded it in the past.
Right.
And that's where we wait to see if we'll bring it back whenever it's completed, all the permits are done and finals are made, and we'll ask for it to be rescinded, or we'll bring it back when someone stops working on it.
Preston, is that something that you're comfortable with happening, or is that not what are your thoughts on that?
No, I think that's fine. I was thinking about the kind of finality of it, but as we've discussed in kind of staff board training discussions, if someone fails to meet an order, and it was an order to repair, you can order that it just be permanently closed and then placarded. That would make it final in terms of the order process. But if it is still closed and placarded, but you're wanting staff to monitor it, then I think placing it in this kind of deferred indefinitely case might not be a bad idea.
And the other question I have about doing that is, I'm concerned about the appearance of certain people being treated differently. For example, based on past history. So is it something we should just, going forward, put all of them on cold case, or is it okay to say, based on this criteria, we're going to do this?
So, all right, well, I mean, let's back up and kind of look at some of the baseline questions. What about it is preventing you from being able to, at this point, close it and placard it and deem it unfit and cannot be occupied in perpetuity until such time that somebody decides to come and fix it, and then close the case? What is preventing the permanent closure and permanent unoccupation?
They're working on this.
It's my understanding they're working on the property currently.
So they're working on
There's
it.
a new owner. There's a new owner. Staff has just reported that there is repair activity going on. Did I understand that correctly?
Right.
Gotcha. I'm sorry. I missed part of the testimony. From staff. No, I missed that.
So our dilemma is we don't need to keep looking at this property every month. but we do
Right.
want to make some kind of a motion that will allow the staff to monitor it, but it can come back to the board quickly should the staff notice that nothing is going on and we need
Yeah,
to take further.
understood.
So we
Understood.
want kind of a motion that will accomplish that.
Right,
Before
right.
we do that, just structurally, I think I need to withdraw my motion to rescind.
Okay, well, so no, I understand much more clearly now. I apologize because I missed much of staff's testimony. I was interrupted on my own computer. Based on that information, what you could do is you could move to you could move to continue this for the duration of the building permit, because building permits only last for 6 months. And so you could move to continue this for the duration of the building permit, and then also charge staff with, i.e. the code officers, with continuing to monitor the property. And if anything is identified that needs to be brought to the board, that staff brings it to the board in interim capacity. But otherwise, the continuance is for the period of the building permit.
Okay, I like that.
Okay,
If the rest of the board members like that.
I like that. You like that? Okay, then I will make a motion that we continue the property at 812 Montgomery Street for the duration of the building permit, and ask city staff to monitor the progress on this, bring it back to the board at any time they deem necessary.
Second.
You're all too new when you're not. Please talk, because we can hear you.
You good with that,
I'm
Jenny?
sorry. I'm sorry, Chairman Spencer, did you second that motion?
Yes, I did.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you ready for roll call?
We are.
Okay. Mr. Spencer,
Yes.
Ms. Lockmiller,
Yes.
Ms. Hunter,
Yes.
motion approved. Thank you.
You're welcome. Next property, 315 West Maple Street. This is continued from our February meeting.
Three 315 West Maple Street. Let's see. This property is owned by James Booth, son of Joe Ward Booth. It's one of Rex's old cases. We've had several orders through here, and it's been continued a bit due to the owner, James Booth's health not being very well. He was in ICU, I believe, our last meeting. These were pictures 2 weeks ago. Today, we went back out. All of this debris, can you guys see the pictures?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. All of this debris is all gone. He has cleaned it up tremendously. These are not the recent pictures. I don't know if you can see the ones that they, but this is all cleaned up, and let me see. The order was continued on February 27th, 2020, to have him either repair or board up those steps on the side. And they have been boarded up on the side to not allow access for now. And all the debris in the yard is gone. And this, we have 2 pictures on Michelle's phone. I don't know if she can show those to the camera in there in the lobby, but we have 2 new pictures of that. So basically he's complied with this, and right now, again, it's just a vacant house sitting there. waiting on somebody to start repairs. There's no, the roof is fixed, there's no structural damage on the property. And he's complied with what we asked him to comply, what the original request was for, which was the debris and those steps.
Board, what's your pleasure?
Is this one we need to rescind, or is this one?
I
We
have
do like
no,
we did before.
I have no, there's nothing on our original case that is still there right now.
So it sounds like he's met the requirements and we should rescind it.
Yes, ma'am.
I will make a motion to rescind the property at 315 West Maple.
Second?
All right. All right, Mr. Spencer,
Yes.
Ms. Lockmiller,
Yes.
and Ms. Hunter.
Yes.
Motion approved. Thank you.
You're welcome. 207 West Watauga Avenue, continued from February meeting 2020.
So 7 West Watauga Avenue. This property is owned by Thomas Maxwell Hensley. We've been to the board several times. In February 2020, he was to have the permits pulled with the plan of action. He had been working with a engineer. He never actually submitted payment to the engineer, so we never got any of those suggestions. Now, this meeting has started and he has hired a realtor, James Smith with Evans and Evans, and has an agreement. I know James through another property, and he actually has an agreement signed with a purchaser of this property that plans on buying it. I don't know the cost. I don't know what the actual financial deal is, but there is supposedly a new buyer. I still worry because this is normally the final hour as usual with the owner of this property that I don't want to just rescind this one because I don't know that this will actually go through. But I don't want to cause hardship on the new buyer if he does purchase it. So my recommendation is if we could either I would rather continue it for 2 months just to make sure, because 1 month's time, I don't know if all the paperwork, if that would actually go through. But within 2 months, if there's not a true buyer, then you guys could look at it again. But I would personally like to see if someone else will actually purchase it and do something with this property.
Board input?
I'm good with that staff recommendation. And
Jenny, what about you? Jenny? Did you mute yourself again, Jenny?
did we lose Jenny?
I don't see her in the window anymore, which of course doesn't mean she can't hear me necessarily, but I fear maybe we've lost her, and then of course we've lost quorum if that's the case.
Yes, we sure have.
Well, I see you there, but I don't see you there. Great.
Well, now what do we do?
Okay, sorry. Am I back?
Oh, good. Yes. Saved the meeting.
Sorry.
Okay.
If you're not there, we don't have a quorum. So. Did you hear were you able to hear the recommendation?
No, my video and my audio was muted. I'm sorry. Can you?
All right, so the recommendation is that this house is possibly going to be purchased. So Leona's asking for a continuance till the September meeting.
Yes,
So are you good with that?
I'm good with that. Do I need to vote yes?
Okay. I'll make a motion then that we continue the property at 207 West Watauga Avenue to the September 24th meeting.
Second.
Second.
Oh, thank you, Jenny. Give that one to Jenny.
All right. Mr. Spencer,
Yeah,
Ms. Lockmiller,
Yes,
Ms. Hunter,
Yes.
motion approved.
excellent. Next property, 1610 East Millard Street.
East Millard Street was continued at the last meeting because there was a possible pending sale. Mrs. King came in to say that they were having problems with the tax bills and who was going to pay that, so we continued it. There was a order for a demo by owner. She has contacted me about the property and the sale. They are still in limbo over the sale. It is still pending. So she has reopened her demo permit and has a scheduled demo for August 1st, 2020 on that property. My recommendation is, and I have no doubt that she probably will demo the home, you know, but my recommendation would be demo by city, and then if she does that, then that would be great. If not, then we, you know, have a backup because this is.
We have the option to do it.
Yes.
I'll make that motion that the property at 1610 be demolished by the city if the owner is not compliant with demolishing the property.
Second.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Spencer,
Yes,
Ms. Lockmiller,
yes,
Ms. Hunter,
Yes.
motion approved.
super. And I feel confident that she will. She's been pretty faithful coming to everything and keeping us informed, so that's great. Right
Yes.
now, moving on to new properties, 227 West Main Street.
Okay, 227 West Main Street. This property is owned by a gentleman, Bob Patton, who has an agreement with Andrew Daniels and another partner to like a rent to own. And they are in conflict of who is responsible for the building. This picture is sideways, but I'll show you some more. We'll get there.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
there's so much water, there's fish in there.
That's bad, isn't it? There is so much water damage. This right here is an actual gas line, and you'll see it throughout these pictures. They've got several of the heaters, like a space heater that hangs up towards the top.
That's a little scary if the ceiling collapses and you got a gas leak.
Yes, sir. I'll try to get to some. I don't know if these pictures, if the pictures are gonna be in the way. Let's see, hold on. Okay, she's gonna move these around a little. Maybe not. Oh, well, look, I don't need to see them right now while we look at these, and then we'll bring them back. How's that? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Can we move that box? Just let me move that box.
I think I can move the box.
Yeah, okay, there we
There we
go.
go.
Okay.
All right, there we go.
Okay, sorry. But all that you see is the ceiling. Here's one of the, you can see the damage is so bad they've placed some extra sheets of something up there to hold it up, but the gas line runs right through here.
Unreal.
And
Where did
this
that-
is, and it's the entire suite, like back here, it gets worse and worse as you go towards the back.
So we just got to do show cause on this to get a public hearing?
Yes, sir.
Now, I got, Preston, this is kind of off, not off the record, but if something would happen to this, we're going to have a gas leak that could explode. I mean, if we have a lot more rain like we're expected over the weekend, I mean, we could blow up a block down here. So what, do you have any recommendations for that? That's just not safe.
Yes, sir. What I can do is I would recommend that you all go ahead and do whatever you need to do from a board perspective. But what I will do is make contact with Mr. McClellan this evening, as a matter of fact. There's a particular section of the code that authorizes the building official with making immediate disconnects in matters of imminent danger. And so I would like for Mr. McClellan to be able to look at this personally tomorrow. So I will make that request.
Super. Somebody do a show cause motion, please.
Yeah, wait, where's my verbiage? What happened to Jenny? She does this better.
I can do it. I make a motion to show cause to create a public hearing on a new property located at 227 West Main Street.
Second.
All right. Mr. Spencer,
Yes.
Ms. Lockmiller,
Yes.
and Ms. Hunter.
Yes.
Excellent. And thanks, Preston, for moving that forward. That's a dangerous situation. Next property, 4016 Sanford Drive, new property as well.
4016 Sanford Drive, we got a call from JCPD. You can see all this debris on the porch. I already had an open case. This is in Seth's old area, Laurie's now, but at the time the area was vacant for code enforcement. So I'd taken the case and started a case on the exterior. It was two elderly people living in there and they are siblings. The brother found the sister deceased. So when JCPD got there, they called us in. When we went to see it, this is the situation that we found. The floors are completely gone. They've got plywood across the floors where you can walk. The house now is emptied out. A family friend helped him get the structure actually emptied. So the house itself is cleaned out, but all we're asking, because of the shape, the condition of the structure, for health and structural issues, that you guys review this in a public hearing.
Okay, I'll make a motion to for a show cause hearing to determine the new property at 4016 Sanford Street.
Drive. Second.
Mr. Spencer,
Yes.
Ms. Lockmiller,
Yes.
Ms. Hunter.
Yes.
Motion
And just
approved.
make sure in the minutes that that is drive and not street.
Oh, yes, Sanford Drive.
Perfect. 907 Johnson Avenue, new property.
907 Johnson Avenue, also we were contacted by JCPD. We arrived on the property. The owner let us in. Animal control was there along with JCPD. There were some, of course, hoarding issues and animal hoarding issues. This structure is now vacant. The family has moved to a different city, but the structure itself sits. I have not been back inside since this original day. This gentleman is Wayne with animal control. Charges were placed against one of the owners for animal cruelty, and the damage, I don't know what the structure looks like at this point because we couldn't hardly get to the structure. I do know there's issues, of course, with health violations, and there will be a lot of plumbing and electrical issues. But as far as the structure itself, I don't know exactly. I do know that for health reasons, it definitely needs to go for a public hearing.
You know, Jenny?
Make a motion to show cause hearing to create a public hearing on a new property at 907 Johnson Avenue.
Okay.
I'm sorry, did I get a second on that?
Yes,
Second.
I did.
Okay, sorry, thank you.
That's okay.
All right, Mr. Spencer,
Yes.
Ms. Lockmiller,
Yes.
Ms. Hunter,
Yes.
motion approved.
Alrighty, next property, 3518 West Market Street.
3518 West Market Street. Here is Market Street. Here is 11E Hotel, and 3518 West Market Street is right behind it. There's a few county lots behind that. This was, we were called in by the Johnson City Fire Department. The structure had caught on fire possibly around the front porch, but it had pretty much gutted it on the inside. And at this point, the insurance has paid out, and the owner, Anthony Grant Stevens, possibly may have sold this to Vic Vetrana, who owns the hotel in front of it. And so I'm not sure if, I don't know that that sale is actually final. According to Anthony Grant Stevens, Vic Vetrana was kind of, it was contingent on if Mr. Stevens got the house demolished and removed. Now, he has personally been demolishing this house on his own. And so there is a, but there's still a lot of the debris left.
Did he pull a demo permit?
What's the permit on this one? I believe there was.
Permit on 624.
Yes,
Oh,
624.
good.
A lot of Coleman fuel.
Yeah, this right here makes me wonder if they had power on before the fire. Because I'm guessing they may have been cooking with that.
Those Mountain Dew bottles? What the heck is that?
No, Coleman fuel, propane
Oh, my word.
for camping stoves.
Oh,
But this is the interior from the fire. But now the structure is mostly removed. This started with the BDSR process before he started the demolition. This is just a show cause. You guys can definitely, call for a public hearing, and hopefully before we even get to that point,
it'll be gone.
it'll be gone. But I didn't want to wait for this
Yeah,
process.
no, we need to keep it on the front, no pun intended, burner. So
Yeah.
I'll make a motion that we do a show cause to call a public hearing on the property at 3518 West Market Street.
Second.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Spencer,
Yes.
Ms. Lockmiller,
Yes.
and Ms. Hunter.
Yes.
Motion approved.
117 Hilo Drive or Hilo Drive.
It is
Probably
Hilo.
Hilo Drive. Yeah.
117 Hilo Drive. We had been trying to contact owners of this property. We found a homeless family living there. No electric. This door right here, you can see this is a trash can, so it's pretty high up. There's just a lot of issues with it. So the owner has now contacted me. We have done a courtesy, and we hope to move forward. But either, this was already in process. They did not contact me until they got the BDSR letter. So this was originally brought here to move forward to a public hearing, which we still can, or we could just let her work through the building department. I'm fine either way. We actually have a contact now.
what's the best for you? If we do a show cause, is that going to allow you to do all the research on it?
I can, and that might make it easier.
Yeah, let's just make sure you got the right owners. I'll make a motion to do a show cause hearing to call a public hearing on the property at 117 Hilo Drive.
Thank you.
Second.
All right. Mr. Spencer,
Yes.
Ms. Lockmiller,
Yes.
Ms. Hunter,
Yes.
motion approved.
Next
Mr. Chair.
property. Yes, sir.
If it's okay, forgive my interruption. Officer Bennett, back on 227 West Main, was that yours?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, do you have who is your contact for that? Because I want to let Dave McClellan know that how he can get in the building.
I have several contacts. Hold on a second.
No, that's all right. I can get them from you. I can get them from you later offline. I just wanted to make sure that we do have, will we have immediate access into the building?
I believe so.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Okay, we were at new property 1005 Somerset Drive. I believe that's the next one.
Yes, sir. Somerset Drive come to us. I'm actually not sure how this one comes to us. It might have also been JCPD, but if you look the back of this structure, it's not, I mean, it's butted up against it, but I think it is separate, but you can see where it's collapsing. It is vacant now. Apparently it was it's a reverse mortgage, she said, and she's now living with her daughter. But the structure itself, there's a couple open storage bins. This is what scares me, is there's still power on this structure, or, you know, available. And you can see where this carport is collapsing. So apparently a bank has it now. And if I could do a title search, I could hopefully find out what bank and be able to, because right now Washington County still has it as the lady that the letters are going to, which is Elizabeth Owens. And you can see it just needs some attention all around.
Right. I'll make the motion to do show cause for a public hearing at the property at 1005 Somerset Drive.
Second. No, Jenny. Give that one to Jenny.
Mr. Spencer,
Yes.
Ms. Lockmiller,
Yes.
Ms. Hunter,
Yes.
motion approved.
And then Preston, would that be another one that looks like if it collapses, it's going to catch itself on fire with power to it?
Are you talking about the previous one?
Yeah, the 1005 Somerset Drive. Its roofs or ceilings collapsing around the light fixtures and everything. It still has power.
Oh, right. I'll ask one of our electrical inspectors to go out tomorrow and take a look at that.
Super. Because boy, we could, this is a good little catch, because this could avoid a real issue, especially if there's a gas line.
Yes, sir. Will
Super.
do.
Wonderful. Next property is 1501 Robin Hood Drive. This one surprises me. That's usually a pretty nice neighborhood.
It's a very nice neighborhood, and believe it or not one single person has called me on this one. I just actually was driving up Skyline Drive and seen it. I've been trying to reach out to the owner, which is Deborah Kiesel, and was getting no response again until I sent a BDSR letter. The BDSR letter, I do get a call from her who states that she now has this property. It was her mother and father's, and there's a nephew that lives in Camelot that apparently has been keeping an eye on it but hasn't said anything. This may not look real bad. It's really the only picture I have because it's the main issue, of course, with this house. But the trash can would come about right here. I'm guessing this is over 8 to 10 feet. high, and this right here is bowed out. You could fit a person in there. So it's bowed out pretty bad. So I had brung this, of course, before I got a hold of them. Miss Deborah Kiesel did state that she was going to get somebody out there, but it is still like that today. So I'm not sure what's going on, but at least that way we've got it here and we can move forward if they don't do anything with it.
Excellent. I'll make a motion to do a public hearing, show cause hearing for the property at 1501 Robin Hood Lane.
Second.
I'm sorry, who was the second?
Gwen,
Okay, thank you. All right, Mr. Spencer,
Yes.
Ms. Lockmiller,
yes.
Ms. Hunter,
Yes.
motion approved.
Next one, 1209 East Myrtle Avenue.
1209 East Myrtle Avenue was a property that we were called out by Johnson City Fire Department. The original fire was started in the second story, according to the fire marshal's report. And Christopher Porch was living there with one or two of his children. I made contact with the owner at that point. He stated that he does not have insurance and he was suffering from a brain tumor at that point and has since passed away. His mother had power of attorney and was was his caretaker, but she only had power of attorney over his medical, not any of his properties or anything. Family that I've been able to contact wants nothing to do with it. It had also has been set fire a second time. The second time was in the basement. So there is more damage to it. I've cited it several times for overgrowth and, things that they're pulling out of the house and just leaving. And I've towed 8 or 9 vehicles from the property so far, and since it's been burned. He does have children. I'm not able to find out who they are, how to get in touch with them, address, and the property is in really bad shape from the damage from the fires. So
Nobody's in there, are they?
No, sir, it is abandoned. It's closed. There's no, electricity, no water, no gas going to it. It was all disconnected at the time of the fire.
Excellent. Well, we'll do show cause to bring the property at 1209 East Myrtle Avenue for a public hearing.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you, Gwen.
Thank you. Mr. Spencer,
Yes.
Ms. Lockmiller,
Yes.
Ms. Hunter,
Yes.
motion approved.
Next property, 1101 South Roan Street.
1101 South Rome Street. Used to be the old, I believe, Jenny Lee building. This is actually Michelle's, who is running the lobby right now. There's a lot of roof damage on this one, and she's just wanting to take it so we can move forward, make sure we've got all the interested parties before we go any further.
Okay, I'll make a motion for a show cause hearing to create a public hearing on the property at 1101 South Roan Street.
Second.
Mr. Spencer,
Yes.
Ms. Lockmiller,
Yes.
Ms. Hunter,
Yes.
motion approved.
Last property on the new property, 640 East Maple Street.
This one was owned by Mike Butler, who has just recently been sold to Brian Winston, who owns the bicycle shop there at the new Tweezy Trail. There we go. So, and that's all very new information. But this building is in real bad shape. He plans on either renovating it where he is a contractor or, you know, tearing it down and seeing what he can do there. But this was already in the process of the board, so here it is. And if you guys want to go ahead and review it, then we could definitely move forward, or we can wait and see what he does with it since there is a new owner.
Well, let's get it on the docket.
That's fine.
Jenny, make a motion.
Make a motion. I make a motion to create a public hearing on the property located at 604 East Maple Street.
Second. Oh, Gwen got that one.
Okay.
Good job.
Mr. Spencer,
Yes.
Ms. Lockmiller,
Yes.
Ms. Hunter,
Yes.
motion approved.
All righty. Would everybody be in favor of looking at all the properties to be rescinded and rescinding them all at once?
Yes.
Yep, yes.
All righty.
Okay.
Unless you've got anything on there that you think we need to deal with individually, Cindy.
I think I'm okay. There's two that are a little different. All of them's demolished except for two.
Okay.
Pull out those two then. Which two are they?
Okay.
1815 East Myrtle Avenue. Originally was demolished by city. There was a hold put on that with an injunction. He has since pulled proper permits through the building and finished the project.
Cool. And then what was the other one? 310 West 8th?
Yes, sir. The other one is the 310 West 8th. And that one is, this is the order of dismissal through Chancery Court, where this one was actually, this is a horrible picture. It's the only picture got in here for whatever reason. But here's the picture of it. Well, maybe not. Yeah, here we go. These are all going to be a new case. What was issued originally has gone through the court system. If you remember, he filed an appeal, and then he had to work through the courts to get, Jeannie may know of this where she's in that area. They had to tear down the back of the structure. The roof was collapsing, and he's already fixed all that. He's done everything he needed to do to get through the orders that we had originally. So this one right here, Eric Heron, the attorney, has suggested that we go ahead and rescind this case and for any violations he has now to open new cases, because he has done all the issues. He's repaired all the issues that we.
Did we do a demo order on that house?
That was let me look on that one. I'm almost sure it was a demo, and he rescinded, he filed it.
Because I'm so excited because I did not want that house. I love that little house. I'm so excited. I tried to get everybody I know to work on that house.
Cool.
That's great.
It was, I believe it was.
I was going to say, if Jenny's good with that, we'll just rescind them all if you want to show us pictures of the others.
Okay.
I'm very excited about that. That's so exciting. I love that little house.
Everybody was, okay, I will show you, let's go up here to the top. Yeah, start at the top. Okay,
Yes,
so
thank you.
416 West Maple, did she?
Yeah, we're seeing it.
Okay, 416 West Maple and 423 West Maple, but here's 416, it's the structures that was Bob Bennett's. Here's 423 West Maple.
Wow.
Very sad that had to happen, but it's done.
Yeah.
But it had
Heartbroken.
1208 Claiborne Street. And you won't see it, it's probably the same picture, but 1208 and a half, they sit on the same lot. But,
was that Danny Stories?
No, this was
What is it?
1208, the Claibornes.
Looking. It was Dwayne, Andrew Frank, and Kim Whitson.
The Winsons, they only come maybe once or twice.
Okay.
But those are now down and the grass is sown. And
Wow.
then finally 411 Wilson. And if I could X that out, but it's 411, 413 and 417.
Yes.
There it is 411, which is real close. 413. And then 417 is on the other side of that house. And they have all been removed.
Wonderful. All right, I'll make a motion to rescind the following properties: 416 West Maple Street, 423 West Maple Street, 1208 Claiborne Street, 1208 and a half Claiborne Street, 411 Wilson Avenue, 413 Wilson Avenue, 417 Wilson Avenue, 310 West 8th, and 1815 East Myrtle Avenue.
Second.
Was that you, Ms. Hunter?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. All right, Mr. Spencer,
Yes.
Ms. Lockmiller,
Yes.
Ms. Hunter,
Yes.
all approved.
Thank you. Preston, I did have one other question. I guess this could come out in under other business unless you don't think so, but what happened to Dave?
What happened to Dave?
Our other board member.
Dave.
Oh, Mr. Jenny.
Yes.
I am not aware.
Okay. Okay.
When did you know he had resigned? Am I correct on that?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
He had indicated such. But now, Mr. Ryder, if you're listening, because I want to make sure that we're all operating off of facts and not hearsay.
Right.
Do you have an update on Mr. Jenny?
I've been advised that I've not spoken directly with him, but I have heard that he rescinded his resignation.
Okay.
Oh.
Wonderful. So at least we have 4. Well, that's good. Anyone else with any?
But again, I'd like to stress that I've not had direct contact with him.
Gotcha. That's fine, Will. No, that's good. Just, I'm hoping that's right, because we'd only have 3 without him at this point, unfortunately. So anyone else, any other business this evening? Not hearing anything. I'd like to thank Will, Preston, all of the city staff. I think this went really fairly well. I'm pretty pleased. So, and board members, thank you. I'm sorry that we've lost Sis. She was a good member. I'm disappointed about that as well. Not hearing anything else, we are adjourned as of 9:04 p.m.
Thank you all. Good
Thank
night.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.